Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart84. I've got a slightly more random, or if you like unusual tasting today that I'm doing. I managed to buy in Borough Market the other day, I was there on Sunday, some fresh jackfruit pieces, pre-prepared jackfruit. This is actually, says product of Vietnam. Can't remember how much this packet was, but it's not ridiculously expensive. But it was coincidentally, I looked in my cupboard and realised I still had a tin of obviously tinned jackfruit, which I happen to notice is only 2 or 3 days from its best before date. So I thought it would be fun to compare some fresh jackfruit, which of course is not necessarily going to be peak flavour because obviously it's imported from Vietnam. It's got to come a long way, so it's been refrigerated, won't have been picked at peak ripeness, so there's no, can't be sure how sweet it is, although as you can see I have already eaten a couple of pieces, and of course jackfruit preserved in syrup, which means that it's going to be very much sweeter probably, and is unlikely to have the quite as much smell to it as fresh jackfruit sometimes has. Now this is actually a Thai product, and interestingly enough, if memory serves me right, I believe Aroy, that's probably the name of the brand, but I think Aroy also means delicious. So Aroy Makman means very delicious or very tasty in Thai. That's if I remember my basic Thai lingo. So I think it's probably quite appropriate that it's called Aroy. That's probably why they picked the name. I don't know where they're tinned in Thailand. It just says product of Thailand. Samut Prakan. Can't remember where that is. But I'm going to open it up, have a taste, and see how the fresh fruit compares to the tinned fruit, because it's not the sort of comparison people normally do. So let me flip the camera around and we'll give them both a try and see how they compare in sort of colour and size of the segments. I'll be back to you in a minute. Okay, so welcome back. So let's pull these, let's take a fresh piece of the fresh jackfruit first, which I'm just going to eat with my fingers. It's got a nice colour to it, not at all slimy. Let's see. Smells not that strong. Jackfruit can smell very strong, although nowhere near as strong as durian. But obviously when it's been picked and prepared slightly underripe and isn't sort of sitting in all the juices of the fruit, plus it's been refrigerated, of course it's a lot drier and it doesn't have quite the smell to it. So let's see what this piece here is actually like. Got a nice sweetness levels, not that high. It's got a nice sweetness for me. It's not one of those sickly sweet fruits, although I think a super ripe one harvested fresh from the fruit would probably be a lot sweeter, but I like this. Flesh is quite firm. Of course you can use these at different stages as a vegetarian meat substitute. You can actually shred this flesh, pull it apart with a fork, and it looks like pulled pork. And surprisingly, once it's cooked and got all the sauces on it, it tastes very similar to pulled pork as well. But I like my jackfruit fresh. This piece was a little bit paler, but still got a nice sweetness to it. Not overwhelmingly sweet, and I don't like overwhelmingly sweet fruit. I like them with just a medium sweetness. I don't like them sour either, but very pleasant. Now, let's pull open this other one. As I said, I've probably had the tin for 2 years. It's very, very near to its use or best before date. Pull the tin open. Got a slight smell to it. Let's try a bit of the syrup off the top. Obviously you know these are going to be sweeter, because not only has it got, there'll be jackfruit juice in here, but of course it's preserved in sugar and syrup, and they would have heated it to sterilise it as well. So whilst it's not cooked jackfruit, it's going to be a little bit softer. So let me see if I can show you the colour of that. It's slightly deeper orange than the fresh jackfruit, although there's a lot of different varieties of fresh jackfruit, and sometimes they're very dark orange or even a reddish colour inside. Let's see what this is like. I wouldn't necessarily say, I don't think it's got as nice a flavour as the sweet jackfruit, though of course this is getting near to its best before date anyway. I think the ripe jackfruit's got a slightly more pleasant flavour to it. I don't think this is not in any way tainted, but I think cooking in the probably heating it in the syrup has an effect on the flavour. It's a little bit softer, of course, than the fresh jackfruit. Kind of more reminiscent, to be honest. It actually tastes a bit like a cross between a peach and an apricot, would you believe? You wouldn't say that about the fresh jackfruit, but there's no doubt about it. This tin one, it is sweeter, of course, because it's tinned. Goes very nicely with ice cream and other mixed desserts. I might even put it in a Filipino halo halo in the next day or two, which would be very pleasant. Plenty left in the tin. It's quite easy to buy over here in Asian supermarkets. You can buy tin jackfruit, lychees, longans, rambutan, mangoes, papaya, lots of exotic fruits, but the more unusual ones are like jackfruit. Interestingly, I don't think they do durian in the tin. Perhaps it wouldn't suit the preservation process. So anyway, that's a comparison between fresh jackfruit segments and canned or tinned jackfruit in syrup. This is the brand. If you can buy it online, or if you want to have a look in a Chinese or Asian supermarket, or even sometimes just normal supermarkets, they certainly do tins lychees. They're very common, and sometimes they do the other more exotic fruits as well, so you might be able to pick this up in your local supermarket. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope it was of some interest. Oops, sorry, giving the camera a good kick. Please give me a thumbs up, share the video if you think someone would be interested in that tasting. Please subscribe to my channel, and remember, you've got to click on the bell if you want to know when new videos come out. See you all soon. Brett out for now.